Hi everybody. Let's do some yoga. I hope you're ready to move and to play. I'm really ready to move and to play with you. So if we have yoga mats, that's fine. If we don't, that's no problem at all. We won't really need them. If we have a little hardness on the floor, maybe you want a little cushion for your knees, we'll come down on all fours for a moment or two. But let's gather all of our friends and jump in front of our computer, in front of our TV, and let's do some yoga together. So first, I would love us to start in just a standing position. So we're just going to stand nice and tall and strong. So we'll stand with our feet about as wide as our hips are. So if you want to place your hands right on top of your hips and just kind of hug the hands around and notice, and then we start to just feel the feet about that far apart. So we'll stand with our feet as wide as our hips, and we'll roll back our shoulders, turn the palms out toward me, and take a big breath into your heart, into that space in your chest. Maybe close the eyes and just take a really big breath through your heart. Let's do another couple breaths right through our hearts. And let the air out of your mouth. Inhale in through your heart. And let it go. Let's close our eyes here in our mountain pose. Think about what a mountain looks like. Have we ever seen a mountain before? They're very tall, they reach all the way up to the sky, they have great big peaks on top. So maybe we place our hands on top of our head, and that's the peak of our mountain, the very top of our mountain. But we can use the arms to make our mountain grow. So let's reach our arms up really tall. And then scoop the arms down by our sides. Open up the palms toward me. So the top of our head is our mountain top. We feel the shoulders, and maybe we notice those are the smaller mountains, so maybe there's a little bit of snow on top of those mountains. And then we start to feel a little bit of grounding through our feet, so we feel strong and connected to the earth center. So our big, tall mountain stretching up with our breath, lifting our rib cage every time we breathe in, reaching the heart up. And then we feel rooted and grounded through our feet. So close your eyes and just take a little bit of trip with me. Let's go on a little adventure. And start to close our eyes and just imagine what is at the top of our mountain. What do we see? What is all around us? Do we feel the air swirling around? Do we see great big trees in the distance? Maybe we see some birds in the sky. What kind of birds do you see? How big are their wings? What color are their eyes? Do you see them flying around you as you're tall and strong in your mountain shape? Let's take a couple more breaths in this fresh air, this fresh mountain air. Imagining all the things around us. Perhaps we notice way down below there's a big valley of water, and then there's lots of trees down below. Maybe we see a few little dogs running around, little deers running around, and animals in the forest. On our next inhale, let's take our arms up to the sun, reach up to the sun. Let's lace the fingers together, so we'll just put our fingers in between one another and stretch our palms toward the sky. So turn those palms toward the sunshine. Take a big breath in as you reach to the sunshine. And then as we breathe out, let's take that sunshine down to our feet. Shine those palms toward your feet, bending the knees and hinging through your hips. Next breath in, let's bring our hands up to the sunshine, reaching up tall. Exhale, bring that sunshine down to our feet. And let's take two more nice big breaths, reaching up, finding that sunshine above our head. And then exhale, bring that sunshine down toward the ground. Wonderful. Drawing our palms up really tall. We'll reach all the way up. Release the hands. Open up those palms. Reach up toward the sky. And then draw the palms together. We'll kiss those hands together and bring them down to our heart center. Let's bring our hands into a prayer shape in toward our center of our chest, pointing our elbows out on either side, and draw the shoulders away from our ears. So we're just bringing the shoulders down so we feel really long in our neck. Let's take a breath here on your own and see how you feel so far. Feel refreshed from our trip to the mountains. Beautiful. To release the arms by our side and just take a moment to wiggle the body out, and then we'll start to untie little knots that we might feel inside of our body. So first, we're still standing here. Let's take a little bend in the knees. We'll place the palms just on top of our thighs. Point your fingers towards your knees and toward your toes, where your toes are pointed. Nice long arms. We'll just press down here and squat down, and we'll take a little breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Open up that mouth really wide. And maybe it feels really fun to stick out our tongues. So let's take a big breath in through our noses. Stick out your tongue and breathe out. And in our next breath, maybe we look to the tip of our nose. So let's breathe in through our noses. Look to the tip of your nose and stick out your tongue. Our lion's breath. So we're wiggling out our jaw. Let's wiggle the jaw, squeeze our faces, open up the eyes, open up our mouth, wiggle around our face. Lions don't have tense faces because they open up their mouths. Let's take another lion's breath. Big breath in through your nose. Open up your mouth, stick out your tongue, look at your nose. One more time. Inhale. Exhale, lion. Beautiful. Let's stand ourselves back up, bring our arms up toward the sun. Gather some of that sun and bring it down to your heart, right in the center of the chest. Wonderful. Release the arms. So we wiggled out our faces, we wiggled out our jaws. Let's see if we can wiggle out the neck a little bit. Let's bring our ear to the shoulder, just one ear to the shoulder. Beautiful. Bringing our chin toward the chest. And then our other ear to the other shoulder, just turning the head to the side, and then chin to the chest. Let your head be really heavy here. Let's send our chin up toward the sun, reaching our throat open. Feel the stretch in the front of your body. And then bring the chin down toward the chest. Let the head hang really heavy. Roll your ear to your shoulder. Whichever ear you want to try first. And then chin to the chest, and we'll roll our head to the other shoulder, ear to the shoulder. Let's see if we can very slowly make really big circles. So slowly, chin toward the chest, roll the head, be really careful and really slow, drawing the head back, drawing really big, slow circles. We want to be very careful with our neck. Very careful. There's lots of little tiny muscles, little tiny bones, and our head is very heavy. So let's bring the chin back in toward the chest and circle ourselves the other way really slow. Be careful. And breathe as you make those circles nice and slow. Just a couple more, really slow. I know it's really hard to slow down, but let's slow the circle. One more. Easy does it. Wonderful. Let's bring the chin back down toward the chest. Start to roll the shoulders back. Just take a moment to roll them back and roll them forward with your head hang heavy. And then look up toward the sun. Reach the arms up towards your gaze. Kiss the palms together and draw them down to your heart center. Wonderful. Let's take our fingertips and place them on just the tips of your shoulders. We're going to do a little bit of shoulder rolls. So let's untie some knots in our shoulders. First, we'll bring our shoulders right up to the bottoms of the ears, really tight up toward the ears. And then bring those shoulders forward. Bring the elbows forward too to help you. And then draw those shoulders down, drawing them back as our last step. So first, up toward the ears, forward, down, and back. Up toward the ears, forward, down, and back. Let's do 2 more times. Up toward your ears, roll forward. Use those fingers to help you guide those arms forward and back. 1 more time. Up, forward, down, and back. Let's keep our fingertips on the shoulders. We're going to go the other way. So let's bring our shoulders up toward the ears, back this time. Feel our heart open up toward the front. Drop the shoulders down, and then forward. So let's go up toward our ears, roll back, go down, and then forward. So let's do 2 more. Up toward your ears, rolling back, dropping down, and bring them forward. 1 more time. Up, back, down, and forward. Let the fingertips go. Just give yourself a little wiggle. Give your face a little wiggle. And then we'll move our way down to our hips. So let's place our hands on our hips. Maybe you like to bring your fingers forward and your thumb back. Maybe you like to just bring your hands right onto your hips. So let's get a feel for those hips. Point our toes forward. And we're just going to start to lean to one side. Just lean the hips all the way over. Good. Pass by your center and lean all the way to the other side. Just send your hip to the side. Beautiful. Come back to center. Send our hips forward toward me. Good. Bring them back and send your hips back without bending the knees. Just leaning the chest a little bit forward, sending your hips back. Beautiful. Come back to center and let's go into those circles. Bring your hip to one side, bring your hip to the front, bring your hips to the other side, and send your hips behind yourself. So hips to the side, hips to the front, hips to the side, and hips to the back. Let's do a couple more. To the side, to the front, to the side, and to the back. 1 more time. To the side. Go to the front, to the other side, and to the back. Let's go back to the center. Wiggle out a little bit. We'll go the other way. So let's go to the opposite side you started. We'll go to the back this time, then to the side, then to the front, to the side. Send your hips behind yourself, over to the other side, and then hips forward. Let's do 2 more. To the side, to the back, to the side, and to the front. To the back, to the side, to the back, to the side, and to the front. And then we'll do fluid circles. Just let yourself circle in that direction. Oh, and then we'll switch directions and circle the other way if you remembered which way you went first. Wonderful. So our hips are nice and loose, shoulders are nice and loose. Our neck is ready and our face is ready. Let's step our feet a little closer together so we can snuggle our legs together and feel our knees touch. Let's bend the knees a little bit and bring the hands, so just the bottom of your hand, just the padding of your hand, right to the top of your knee. So we're just out as the leg ends at the knee, you're just going to place the hand on top and let the fingers dangle on the ends of your knees. Snuggling our knees together. Let's start to draw our knees to one side, whatever side you want to, just leaning the knees to the side. Bending a little more into the knees to bring them to the front. And then leaning over to the side and straightening out the knees to come back. Beautiful. So let's bend the knees, go over to the side, to the front, bend a little bit more, to the side, straightening out to go back. Wonderful. So let's just draw some circles. Let's keep a little bend in the knees and draw circles. One direction, just using the pads of your hands to guide your knees and to guide your legs, just like we used the tips of our fingers to guide our shoulders. So we'll go in one direction, keep our feet snuggled in, feel the soles of our feet touching the ground, feel our heels touching the ground and our toes, and then we'll stop in the center and go the other direction. So we're just going to make those circles in the other direction. Opposite way, left to right or right to left. Big circles, just stirring those knees. Wonderful. Let's bring ourselves back up, our hands toward our hips, step our feet a little bit wider, and bring those hands back toward the knees, bending out, and we'll draw a little bit wider of a circle. So one direction in those knees. Beautiful. Stop and go the other direction. Just a little wider in those legs, so we feel just a little more in the tops of our muscles, the tops of our leg muscles. Wonderful. We got all our knots out of our knees and out of our hips and shoulders. We got our feet too at the end. So let's find our one foot. Let's lean ourselves over to our left foot a little bit so we can come up on our toes on our right foot. So right up on our tippy toes, maybe bringing the hands to your hips helps you feel balanced. We're just going to draw some circles with that big toe. So finding a little touch point with our big toe and drawing some circles with our ankle. So one direction, and then we'll go the other direction. And then get that ball of the foot right on the ground. So all of our toes, and make some circles. See if you can stretch out your toes a little bit. One direction and the other. Let those toes spread around. Roll onto your toes. Feel the bottom of your foot. Beautiful. Let's do the other foot. So find your tippy big toe and draw circles with your ankle. One direction a couple times. They don't have to be perfect circles. And then we'll go the other direction. Little circles with your ankles. And then get that pad of the foot right on so you feel all of your toes right on, but your heel is lifted, and we'll stretch out the top of your foot. So it's little circles. Let those toes spread as you press into that padding of the foot. And then the other direction, feeling that spread of your toes, feeling stretching in the insides of your feet. Beautiful. Let's bring our feet back to our hip width distance. And then we're going to peel the inside of the foot out, pressing onto the outsides of our feet. So we're just letting our feet open up. Wonderful. Bring them back in toward each other. Let's go ahead and lift up the heels. Lift the heels as high as you can. Get as tall as you possibly can on your padded parts of your feet. Feel your legs, press through the ground, push your fingertips toward the ground and feel nice and tall. Beautiful. Let's go and set those heels down, and we'll pick up our toes. So let's pick up all of our toes, feel the heels, and then we'll try our very best to set one toe down at a time. So let's have a look at our toes. Watch our little toes, our littlest toes touch down. And then the second toe, and then the third toe, and then the fourth toe, and finally our very biggest toe. And feel how those toes are spread. We'll pick them back up again one more time, and we'll try to set them down the other way. So first, the big toe. Set down that big toe, both big toes. Then try your very hardest to set down the second toe, then the third toe, and then the fourth toe, and finally that baby toe. Wonderful. We'll bring our arms up toward the sky. Reach for the sun. Bring the sun down to your heart center on your exhale. One more time. Inhale, reaching up. And exhale through that heart center. So what we've done is we've untied all the knots in our body, all the way from the tippy top down to our tippy toes. Reaching up with our arms, big circle with those arms. Let's bring our palms to touch over top of the head, and then turn the palms away. Soften your knees, bend your knees a little bit, hinge your hips. We'll hinge ourselves forward. Draw a great big circle with those arms as you come all the way down to the ground. We'll make a big circle as we come back up again. So scoop those arms up, straighten out the knees, straighten out the arms, reach above yourself. Let's draw one more circle. Soft knees, dive yourself down. Draw a great big circle with your fingertips. Great big circle, and we'll come all the way up again. Finish our circle all the way up. Beautiful, and the hands toward the heart, bringing them down to the center of your chest. Beautiful. Let's wiggle it out. We got all of our sillies out. Let's bring ourselves down to our mat to all fours. So first, let's scoop our arms up, great big tall stretch. And then as we breathe out, let's bring our hands to touch, bend our knees, hinge our hips, and go into fold all the way down. Let's bend the knees so much so that we can touch our palms on the ground, and we'll step back onto our knees. So let's come into a tabletop shape or an all fours shape. Pressing into the ground with your hands, making your arms nice and long, feeling strong in your belly. And we'll start to turn your tail up toward the sky. Lift your tail. Pull your belly down toward the ground and lift your heart forward. Lift that chin, look up. And then as we breathe out, let's tuck that tail in, press the ground away to round yourself into a cat shape. So into a kind of a Halloween cat shape. Next breath in, take your breath in, send your tail up as if you're a little skunk, spraying all over the place, let your belly drop, lift the heart forward, reach the chin up to the ceiling, and then round yourself in just like a Halloween cat. Send your spine all the way up to the ceiling, press into your hands, and then inhale, send your tail up, drop your belly, lift your heart forward, reach your chin and your gaze. One more time as we breathe out, let's bring ourselves in toward our bodies, rounding in. Wonderful. Coming back into our tabletop shape, let's bring our knees over to the side so we can come into a little seat. So coming into a butterfly shape. Let's bring the soles of our feet to touch. And we can bring our heels as far away from our center as we'd like to, maybe opening up a little more, creating a little diamond shape. Let's take a moment, find a little balance between our seat. See if we can imagine our bum glued toward the ground, gluing down, and then maybe we can imagine a string just in the center of our head, holding ourselves up to the ceiling, creating a lot of height so we feel really tall. So we can use our hands on our ankles, or we can bring our fingers to the ends of our feet. Nice long arms and reach up with our heart, nice and tall. In through the nose and out through the nose to breathe. Maybe it feels good to breathe in through our noses and let it out through our mouths. In through our noses and out through your mouth. Beautiful. Let's just start to draw circles like we did when we were standing with our hips, just leaning into circles. Just 1 or 2 circles in this direction and 1 or 2 circles in the other direction. Beautiful. Now, since we're in our butterfly, we have these beautiful wings sticking out, so we might as well flap our wings. So take a little moment for yourself to fly. Let's glue our bums toward the ground and flap our wings. See if we can take off. Just flapping, feeling a little bit of release in our hips, a little bit of softness in our tummies, and just a little petal of those little wings we have sticking out. Beautiful. Just another breath or so here. Let's release our feet, bring our hands on the outsides of our legs and close our knees like a book. Swing our knees to the side and come back onto our all fours into our tabletop shape. So coming into that tabletop shape. Beautiful. Let's take another moment in our cat-cow. Do you remember what the cat-cow looked like when we went up with our tail and dropped our bellies and lift our heart forward? This is our cow pose. And then when we tucked our tail in and we sent our spine to the ceiling in our cat pose. So let's just do one more. Send our tail up just like you're a skunk, but coming into our cow pose. And then bring your tail in, round your belly, tuck your chin in towards your chest. Beautiful. Let's start to bring the knees a little bit wider. So just walking your knees out from one another. Let's kiss our big toes together, touch our big toes, push through the hands a little bit to lean back. Send your hips towards your heels, coming into a rock pose. So a child pose it's often called, but we're going to call this a rock pose. So we're just going to curl into ourselves a little bit, let the forehead touch the ground, and get really tiny and small. Maybe we like to wrap our arms around our legs and become even smaller, holding onto the feet if you feel them, or your toes or your ankles, and just feeling really small in our little ball, in our little rock pose, connecting ourselves to the earth. Take some breath here, breathe. Feel connected to the ground, close to the ground. Beautiful. Let's bring our head up, bring our hands in front of ourselves, snuggle the knees together, tuck ourselves in really tight. So let's bring those legs together, feet together. We're going to come into a little seed and pretend we're a little seed of a tree. So let's wrap our arms around ourselves. Maybe we can bring our hands together, tuck the chin in towards your knees, and maybe set the head down on the ground, come into a little seed. So imagine like we're a little seed and what we need to grow. What do we need to grow when we're a seed? We need water, we need earth, we need the sun. So as a tree, we're in the springtime right now, so we're a little seed under the ground, and the ground is warming up because of the sun. So it's warming up, everything is melted, it's been raining, so we're getting some water. We're starting to grow, so maybe we wiggle ourselves back and forth. A little seed ready to grow. In through the nose, out through the nose, take your breath as your little seed. And then we'll start to bring our hands in front of the knees. Set the palms down on the ground. We're a little seed starting to sprout. Pressing the ground away from you with those hands, grow your arms nice and long, or a little bit taller, a little bit bigger. Maybe we still tuck our faces in like a little seed. Leaning ourselves forward, let's tuck our toes. We've grown just a little bit more. Bring the hands to the knees. A little seed. Wonderful. Let's press our fingertips in front of our knees. Lean ourselves back into our toes so we're up on our toes. Wrapping the arms around. We're still a little seed. And now we've become a little baby sprout. So we've connected our toes to the ground. We've connected our roots. We started to grow little roots in toward the earth. And our little seed and our little sprout. So to push through our toes to grow really, really slowly. Let our heels come down to the ground. Curve yourself over. So let's fold our body over like a little sprout. Let our fingers dangle. Tuck the chin in. And imagine what a little tiny sprout looks like. As we bring our hands up our legs, growing up into a tree. So we're slowly getting more water, more sun. We're crawling ourselves up. Let's bring our right leg with us. Grow up, roll the shoulders back, bring the leg up and open up the knee. Let's put the toes down on toward the ground, open up the knee to the side, reach our arms up above our heads and open up our branches. We are now a full tree, a beautiful tree. Reach up with the fingertips, reach our heart to the sun, balancing ourselves on our trunk. Let's feel a little bit of the wind. Maybe we can kind of sway our arms side to side a little bit. It's a little bit windy up here. We're growing. We're great big, big trees now. We can feel almost as much as wind as our mountain did. Beautiful. Hands back into the center of the chest. Let's go back into our little seed. Bring our knee forward. Plant our foot down. We'll let our arms go in toward the center. Roll ourselves down. Bend the knees. Let the heels come up off the ground. Bring the palms down onto the ground. Bring the knees back down. We'll lean ourselves forward, untuck the toes, and come back into a little seed. So we have to balance on the other side so that we feel equal on each side. So coming into our little seed, hold yourself in your little ball. Imagine we've gone back into the winter time. And what we need is warmth, we need water, we need sun, and soil. So now we've started to rain. It started to rain and it's melting. So release our hands, place them in front of the knees, draw ourselves up away from our knees a little bit here, planting through our palms, coming up into our little sprout. So let's lean ourselves forward into our knees, tucking the toes, and then leaning back into the heels, picking the knees up off the ground. We're just a little sprout here. Let's take a moment, take a breath in your little sprout. Remembering which leg did we lift on the other side. So this side will be doing the other leg. So let's start to push into our toes, reach ourselves up, let the heels touch down, curving ourselves up, rolling the shoulders back, and bring up your other leg. So the leg that you didn't lift before is turning out the knee, planting the toes down, and opening up the shoulders. Reach our arms above our head, open up those branches, and come into your tree on the other side. Feeling balanced, feeling tall, growing here. And maybe, it got a little bit windy. So maybe we sway our branches side to side. Let those leaves flow, our fingers, our twigs and our branches moving with the wind. And just one more breath, moving with the wind. Let's bring the hands up all the way and down into the center of your chest when you breathe out. Bringing our knee forward, setting our feet down. Let's reach our arms up really tall toward the sun. Flip our hands, press those palms toward the ceiling like you did before. Press those palms, and then draw the sun down toward your feet. Bend the knees and hinge through the hips, shining that sun toward your feet. Inhale, bring the sun up. Gather some more of the sun and hinge the hips, bend the knees, draw them down to your feet. Let go of the hands, let go of the fingers. Relax the arms and the neck and your shoulders. Maybe wiggle out a little bit if that feels nice for you. If it feels nice to grab hold of your opposite elbows and sway a little bit, maybe bend the knees a little more, feel free. Take another breath here in your nice little fold. Nice big breath here. Beautiful. Let's come up to a halfway lift. So we'll bring our palms to our shins, so just up below the knees. Press into your palms to lengthen out the arms. Send your heart forward. Tuck your belly in and fold again. Let go of your legs, bend the knees, let the head come down to the ground. Let's point that string where the string was attached to our head, the center of our head. Let's point that center of the head down and we'll shake our head, no, no, no. And yes, yes, yes. Releasing those little neck muscles. Take a breath in and come up to your half lift, drawing the hands to your shins. Send your heart forward. Bring your belly in, tuck your belly button in toward your belly and fold forward. Wonderful. We're going to big tall stretch. Inhale, reaching all the way up, big tall stretch. As we breathe out, bring the hands into your heart center, into the center of the chest. Beautiful. Bring our arms up again, big, big reach. Kiss those hands together and we'll fold ourselves back down all the way. Bend the knees a lot so that we can plant our palms down and come back into our tabletop shape, back into those all fours. Pressing the ground away from you. Do we remember what our cat-cow flow was like? Can we do that again? So let's go for 3 cat-cows. First, we bring our tail up high, we drop our tummies, we send our hearts forward, lift the chin. And then as you breathe out, let's bring our tail in, round our spine, and tuck the chin in toward your belly. Look toward your knees. Beautiful. Take a breath in, bring your tail open, drop your belly, lift the heart forward. And exhale to tuck our tail in, round yourself in, tuck your belly in. One more time, the tail opens up, heart comes forward, lift your chin and chest, and then round yourself in, just like a Halloween cat. Beauty. Coming back to our all fours, scooping our knees to the side. Let's come all the way onto our bums, bringing our legs in front of our bodies. So we're bringing our legs nice and long in front of the body. We're just taking a little sit. So our legs are long. We'll bring the toes back so that we feel our heels touching the ground. We feel our bums. So if you want to move around a little bit to feel balanced in your sides of your body, so in your both bum cheeks, you feel nice and balanced. Inhale to lift that heart. And exhale, maintain your nice tall back, nice tall seat. Take one more breath here in your nice tall, tall seat. And then we'll bend the knees just enough so your feet touch down. Bringing them again. Remember how wide our hips are. Bringing our feet just as wide. So let's place our hands on our knees or just below the knees here. And we'll send our chest forward, lift the chin. And then tuck the chin in and round the spine. This might feel a little familiar to you. One more time, sending our heart forward, lifting the chin and chest. And then as we breathe out, tucking the chin in. Wonderful, coming back to the shape. So let's go ahead and break this shape down a little bit. We're gonna bring our shoulders back. So imagine we have a long line, like we're sitting in an invisible chair against an invisible wall. So you have your ears over top of your shoulders and your shoulders are over top of your hips and we're leaning back. So we feel a little bit of muscle here. We're leaning back. Wonderful. So this is called a boat pose. So let's pretend we're in a boat. Why not? Let's go down the river together. So let's grab our paddle. So let's imagine we're holding our paddle with our hands. We're holding the paddle handle and we'll go ahead and start to paddle. So let's just paddle on one side. We're in our boat. We're going to go for a little trip down the river. Can you see the mountains up top where we were before? Those really tall mountains. Now we're in a boat, swimming by. Let's go to the other side and start to paddle onto the other side so that we can stay nice and straight down our river. Beautiful. Let's paddle on each side. One on one side and one on the other. Paddle on one side and paddle on the other. Paddle on one side and paddle on the other. Paddle on one side and the other so we can stay nice and straight down our river. Oh, it looks like we're gonna start to turn to one side, so we're gonna have to stay on one side. Paddle 3 times. 1, 2, 3. We gotta go to the other side. 1, 2, 3, and then 1 for each. 1, and the other side. The other side, 1 paddle and 1 paddle. Oh, we have to do 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, big paddle, 5. Go to the other side. We're gonna have to keep going. The water's getting really rough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, 1 for each. 1 on one side, 1 on the other. Water's getting really strong. 1 on one side, 1 on the other. One more time. 1 and 1 and 1 and 1. Oh, let's lay back. Oh my gosh, I'm so tired of paddling. Let's take a breath. Lean back. Oh, that was tough work. Well, we're still in the canoe, so we're still laying down in our canoe. Let's get up again. We're gonna have to paddle through this, so let's go even faster. The rapids are even faster. So let's go one side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. To the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 for each. 1 on one side, 1 on the other. Keep going. 1, 1, 1, 1. Paddle, paddle, faster, faster. 3 on one side. 1, 2, 3. 3 on one side. 1, 2, 3. We're so tired. 1, 1, 1, 1. Ugh, lay back, so tired. Ugh. Oh, that was a lot of paddling. Whew. Let's take a breath, take a break. Good work, everybody. Good work. Let's come back up into our seat in our boat. Looks like the water slowed down a little, so I think we're just about to park ourselves. Let's take a really slow paddle, a couple times on each side. The water's slowing down. Beautiful. We're gonna park that boat, and we're gonna revisit our child's pose, our rock pose. So we're slowed down in our boat. Let's hold on to our shins a little bit, send our heart forward up to the sun, reach that heart up, lift the chin, and then round yourself back, tuck the chin into your chest. One more time, forward we go, lift through, the water's slow, we're parked by the riverbed, tuck the chin in. Wonderful. Swinging our knees to the side, coming up out of our boat. We're gonna go and stand on the riverbed and find a nice spot to curl down to the earth. So let's take a moment to find our child's pose. Let's snuggle our knees together if that feels nice for you. Maybe you like to have the knees open. That's up to you too, if that feels nice for you. Let's just snuggle our big toes together and we'll roll ourselves down into a rock shape. So maybe the arms come forward if that feels nice for you. Maybe we let the forehead rest on the ground. If we like to, we can stack our fists underneath the forehead to give yourself just a little bit of room here. Or stack the hands. You can also wrap your arms around your body and hold on to your feet if that feels nice for you. So coming into a nice little stone shape, a rock shape. Take the breath here. We've slowed down from our fast river trip. And now we're little rocks. Close your eyes. And what do we notice here? Remember when we were on our mountain, and now we're connected to the earth, to the ground. What do we see here? Maybe we see dirt and roots and water. Maybe we see bugs. What kind of bugs do you see? What do they look like? I see green bugs and brown bugs, families of bugs, couples of bugs. Maybe I see a couple worms under the ground as well, swirling and squirming underneath my body. So just feeling calm and connected here. Just breathing slowly in your rock pose. Feeling sturdy and protected and strong. And we'll take a couple more breaths here. Breathing gently. Noticing whatever's around you. Maybe those roots and those bugs and that dirt below the body. One more really big breath here. And then when we start to breathe in, let's start to unfurl out of our rock. So rock the hips back and forth a little bit, wiggle yourself back and forth, press into the hands. Bring ourselves back into seated. So let's bring the hips to the side and come into a cross-legged shape. So we'll come into a nice easy seat, a cross-legged seat. Wonderful. Nice and tall. Remember that string holding our crown to the head. And remember, try to feel glued, try to feel like our bums are glued to the ground. So let's close our eyes. Notice how you feel. How do you feel? Do you feel good? Do you feel like you can breathe a lot better? Do you feel hungry? Do you feel peaceful? Do you feel quiet? Do you feel happy? I feel very happy. That's how I feel. What do you notice? Are you relaxed? Does your body feel ready to move again? Does your body feel warm? Is your heart beating faster? I feel warm. I feel calm, and I feel very happy. So let's take a really big breath in all the way. Let it out of the mouth. I invite you, let's place one of our hands on our heart, spread the fingers really wide, and place one of your hands on your belly. Spread the fingers nice and wide. Take a really big breath in. Let it out. My heart is at ease knowing what's meant for me won't pass me by, but what passes us by was not meant for us, and that's okay. Let's bring our arms up to the sky, a big sun breath. Circle those arms up, kiss your hands together, and bring your hands down to the heart center when you breathe out. Oh, I had so much fun practicing with you today. Thank you so much. Namaste.